Getting ready to start the Democratic caucus. Quite the turnout for this part of town. That says a lot. Very exciting. What you're looking at here are the different precincts within our area, organized by precinct. So every table that you're seeing is a different precinct with a different sign-in sheet.
Can I be heard? Okay. Obviously, we haven't expected more crowd.
Yeah!
Unanticipated small venue because I was here. Can you hear me? How about this? Okay. 2 years ago, we had about 20 people, and it was exceedingly smooth. And if there's a lesson to be learned from tonight, I think it's that people are well advised to figure out what their precinct is. That's the holdup. Figure out what your precinct is before you come to caucus, because this is not a Sierra Middle School caucus. This is a caucus for your precinct, which are the 11 numbered tables around the room. So you know what your precinct is. It's exceedingly easy to just come in and go to your table and sign in. And if we have to try to figure out what a precinct number is, it can be sometimes very difficult, if not impossible. First thing, and I was supposed to be announcing this every 5 minutes, beginning at 6:30, but I was indisposed. You need to sign in at your precinct, and you do that by going to the folder that was standing up. And there's a list of people for the precinct. It was on the far left. You need to sign in, and the sign-in place is over to the right. So that's how you officially sign in for the precinct caucus. Now, we've had a number of people who are registered Democrats and have an issue regarding what their precinct is. Unfortunately, with our great technology, I don't have the ability of figuring out what where somebody's precinct is by their address. So, and that's a glitch in the whole system. So there's some people here that have signed affirmations to participate in the caucus, but they don't know what their precinct is. And I have no way of retrieving that information. So if there are people here who signed affirmations who want to stand up and say where they live, maybe somebody here can tell them what their precinct is. I know of no other way of solving this. I know this is very crude.
Clark, I don't know how many can hear you, but if you have a smartphone or know anyone near you with a smartphone with this issue, simply go to the Secretary of State's website and we'll solve it from there.
Yeah, if you're on the Secretary of State's website and can get there, you go to your district on the website. There's a long number, and the last 3 numbers are your precinct. So it's easy to figure out, but the problem is some people, for whatever reason, may not be registered with the Secretary of State because changes were fairly recent, and if people absolutely sign an affirmation that they're qualified to be here, we will accept the affirmations. Welcome. My name is Clark Huff. I'm not a professional facilitator of caucuses. I happen to be kind of the captain of the Democrats around Parker. And this job kind of fell to me. I did it 2 years ago, and like I said, it was exceedingly easy. Before we go any further, there's something that as Americans we must do. And if you will, please address the colors for our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Hot mic.
Now, important thing is we are required by the state party to read the rules. And the rules, the caucus rules, should be in each one of the folders. And I'm sure you can read it about as well as I can, but the rules say that we're supposed to read it aloud. So caucus rules, inclusion. The Colorado Democratic Party and the participants in the caucus are required to take steps to encourage participation in the delegate and candidate selection process of the Democratic Party at all levels, by young people, women, minority groups, and the disabled. Inclusion should occur in reasonable relationship to any given group's presence in the full population. This goal shall not be accomplished either directly or indirectly by imposition of mandatory quotas. Who may participate? A person may vote at the precinct caucus, be elected a delegate or an alternate from the caucus, and or be elected as a precinct committee person if they have been, requirements, a resident in the precinct for at least 30 days, and that's January 30th, 2016, and registered to vote in the precinct for at least 29 days, and that's February 1st, 2016, and a registered Democrat for not less than 2 months prior to the date of the caucus, as shown on the registration books of the county clerk and recorder in the state of Colorado. The date was January 4th. So everyone here who's going to participate is supposed to have been a registered Democrat since January 4th of this year. However, any person who attained the age of 18 or who became a naturalized citizen within a 2-month period immediately preceding shall be eligible to vote at precinct caucuses, even though she has been a registered Democrat for less than 2 months. If a registered Democrat has been a resident of the county during the 2 months immediately preceding the precinct caucus, such affiliation with the party and said prior residence shall be counted in determining whether the person has been a registered Democrat for 2 months. Additional rules. Participants in the caucus may adopt additional rules provided they do not conflict with either state, county, or national party rules, state election laws, or other instructions to the caucus chair. Give participants a full opportunity to be heard and permit full disclosure of all relevant questions. Disputes. Any person desiring to dispute any matter concerning the caucus must file a written protest with the county chairperson within 7 days of the caucus. Otherwise, the certification of the caucus results will be final. Secret ballot. All Democratic meetings are open, however. A secret ballot is permitted in precinct caucus if requested. This would really slow things down. Proxies. No proxy voting shall be permitted at the caucus. One must be present to vote in the caucuses. If an individual is unable to attend their individual caucus, they may submit a request to the caucus to be considered for a delegate slot. The decision to approve the request rests with the individuals attending the precinct caucus. Late arriving, early leaving. A person must be present to participate. Those arriving late or leaving early may only take part in the caucus business occurring while they are present. Open voting. No delegate or alternate shall be instructed to vote for or against any candidate or measure. Election procedures. Persons receiving the highest number of votes shall be elected as delegates and or alternates and as committee people. No delegate or alternate may be added to the list or elected delegates or alternates after the close of the caucus. Unfilled slots are considered lost. Times. Important thing here. If two or more candidates for delegates or alternate receive an equal number of votes, the winner is to be determined by lot. That means coin toss. Or drawing straws, meaning by drawing straws. If two or more candidates for the position of committee person receive an equal number of votes, the winner shall be determined by a lot of such candidates. Delegate selection. Delegates and alternates to all party assemblies and conventions are to be chosen in a manner which fairly reflects the division of candidate preference expressed by those participating in the nominating process, including those expressed by minority or divergent views. Equal division between men and women is to be achieved if possible. A preference poll based upon the presidential race will determine convention delegates and alternates to your county assembly. Call it county convention here. The preference poll will be between the presidential candidates and a third candidate, uncommitted. To determine convention delegates, assembly delegates are determined by the highest contested race in your county. This contested race shall be used for the selection of delegates and alternates to the assembly. A candidate must receive a minimum of 15% of the preference poll to be awarded delegates and alternates for both preference polls. Use the caucus math worksheet to determine the number of delegates to be awarded for each candidate who attained the threshold. Treat uncommitted votes as if the vote was cast for a candidate for determining the threshold and awarding delegates. Pretend there is a candidate named uncommitted. Automatic delegates. No person shall become an automatic delegate or alternate to a higher assembly by holding any party or public elected office. Turn in of materials. And please help me out with this. All paperwork reporting caucus results shall be submitted to the caucus facilitator. That's me and my wife Lois over here. Before leaving the caucus. Each facilitator shall submit all caucus results to the county chair by 12 a.m. on caucus night per the instructions of the chair. Preference poll. Results of the U.S. presidential preference poll shall be reported to the caucus facilitator or designee immediately upon completion of the poll. Caucus facilitators or their designees shall report all preference poll results for their caucus site to the county chair or designee by 8 p.m. or as soon thereafter as practical. I think we're going to fall into that category. The county chair shall report all preference poll results for the county to the state party no later than 9:30 p.m. on caucus night. There be your caucus rules.